sports coverage of the NFL has us roughly midway between Boston and Providence. Everybody knows it as Gillette Stadium in Foxborough. A moment ago, the pride of Massachusetts, the Patriots, introduced to this, as always, sold-out crowd as they get set to go head-to-head with the Pittsburgh Steelers. The shadow's starting to get a bit longer. Week 10 of the NFL season is here, and we're underway on EA Sports. Set to return it, here's Moore. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. They'll run with a former member of the Crimson Tide, Damian Harris. And a missed tackle there as he pushes forward for a gain of 4.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20. Because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. Good job there to locate his tight end, Charles, in the middle of the field.
Yeah, he has good pass-catching abilities, and if they're able to continue to find him here in the early going, I think it'll help out his teammates out on the perimeter. You can take the big shots later if he occupies their attention.
And he takes it down deep into Pittsburgh territory. 45 yards rushing for him now in his first 2 carries of the ballgame. A terrific opening drive has them knocking on the door, 1st and goal. They'll run. Here's Harris. Powers through him. And he's going to ball his way down to about the 1-yard line. Call it a gain of 9 there, and it puts him in better shape here for 2nd and goal. Harris is into the end zone. Touchdown, New England. First quarter, maybe too early to talk about statement drives, Charles, but that sure seemed like a statement drive right there.
Well, if we're going to talk about statement drives, I think what they're saying is we're going to establish the run. They gave it to him early and often on this drive, and he wound up taking it into the end zone.
The extra point up and good, and it's now a 7-0 game. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Wentz now on 1st down. Over the middle, complete. It's Miles. And he's got it past the 30 before he's hit and dropped.
Defense gives up a touchdown on the opening drive. Offense, you got to want to get out there and get those points back right now.
And that's a sharp throw there to get this drive off to a good start. On 1st and 10, here's Wentz. That's swung out wide to Harris. They'll contain him to just 4, 2nd down.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
They'll be dropped shy of the 40 despite powering through the tackle. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Wentz going to try and throw on 3rd. He rifles one that's intercepted. It's Connor Duggar who picks it. And he takes this one back into the end zone. And the Patriot defense has a touchdown. And this defense looking like they have come to play the pick 6, and just like that, it's 13-0 early on.
Well, go back with me to our training camp visit. What do we hear during these drills? Pass. Ball's in the air.
And then my favorite.
Oski. That's the interception. That means everybody finds someone to block them legally, stay on your feet, and they get it done. Touchdown.
Takes it at the 7. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And fresh off the pick six, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got to be like...
Oh, now Harris lost it. It's a fumble, and it's picked up by the Patriots. And he's into the end zone. It's a fumble return and a Patriot touchdown. So that is now 2 fumble return touchdowns. You talk about something that's going to drive a head coach crazy.
Without a doubt. But for the defensive guys, once you do it once, you create a frenzy. Everybody wants to get involved, and they got it done a second time.
And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. From the 6. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And let's just say they're going to be looking to start over on this drive. A few moments ago, they were in the exact situation, but their first play led to a fumble that was returned for 6.
Yeah, you definitely have to have a short memory to play in the NFL. You got to remember what you did wrong so you don't repeat it, but you can't dwell on it because then you will repeat it, and that's what you don't want to do.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. A run with Harris out of the shotgun. And able to break 1 tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long distance...
Oh, he's trying for Smith-Schuster, but it's intercepted. It's Kyler Duggar who picks it, and the return stops at the 39-yard line.
When a team's turned it over 3 times in the first half, we just look at the offense and say, guys, what are you doing? But instead, we really should be looking at the defense. They've created the takeaways. 2 interceptions, 1 caused fumble. They played awfully well swarming to the ball here in the first half.
And that'll hurt the average a bit as this time they're able to get him behind the line. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. And this one is incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
He'll throw complete to Gus Edwards. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line.
And I like the idea here. Get the ball in his hands, even if it's in the passing game. 3 catches a week ago, and he does a nice job here to pick up yardage.
Now a first down carry for Harris. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. 58 yards rushing for him as he's got the afternoon off to a great start. 4 yards remain for second down.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Again, it's Harris on second down. And this time they were waiting for him as he'll be knocked down before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down. Throwing Jones. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
They certainly had good starting field position on that drive, but couldn't do anything with it after 3 plays. Have to admit that that's a disappointing end to excellent field position. When that drive started, They had 6 points that they were thinking about.
So an empty possession there. What do you think went wrong, Charles?
Well, it looked like maybe the plant leg might have given way just a little. And when that happens, guys have a tendency to pull through the ball to compensate. And in doing so, sent this one off target.
They'll start the drive with Harris. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on second down.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled them up throughout the game, because that was his longest run of this contest.
Harris going to get it again on second down. And this winds up a pickup of 2, maybe 2.5 to about the 39.
Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and shut them down.
From the gun, it's Wentz. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
I know this offense was expecting to do big things, but it certainly hasn't turned out that way, at least not through the first 3 drives. They're definitely going to have to put their heads together and start concocting some offense that'll move the ball downfield.
And this one will be touchdown inside the 40-yard line. New England with a first down as they begin the drive. And they, on paper, Charles, no doubt they have the edge in this one. They are sitting with the AFC elite, and on the other side, they're down toward the bottom of the AFC. But you know what they say, especially at this point in the season, watch out for a trap game.
And in doing so, I would take my game plan and condense it. I would rely on my fundamentals, the fact that my players are probably just better, and not try and do too much, do just enough to win the game. And on the other side of the field, I'm doing everything. Every trick play I can think of, every different formation, you name it, I'm throwing it at them in order to try and get the upset win. When you look at the scoreboard, you'd think they'd be pretty comfortable right now with this lead, but these guys are absolutely not going to let up. They want to increase their lead, and they want to do it with a big play. Unable to connect in that attempt.
And all the way in. Touchdown, New England. Well, fair to say that when you're looking at guys that can run like the wind, you often find them at the wide receiver position, and that was special there.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards. So just give me a second here, because when he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blur out there. No substitute for speed. We talk about that all the time. The evidence was right there.
And he'll decide to not bring this one out as their drive will begin at the 25. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And 3 and out on the last drive. No points on the scoreboard. A little soul-searching now?
I would say so, and they need to help out their defense a little bit. They've had to be on the field a lot more than normal, put them in some tough spots. But what's the old adage? When you get another chance, it gives you a better chance to do it right. I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on second.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
And past the 40 before he's out of bounds.
When you're struggling on offense, you're looking for anything possible to get you going. Sometimes you do it like basketball teams that don't normally press. You put a press on, bring people to life, make them move a little bit quicker. Maybe that'll help them as they head towards the half.
And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. 58 yards rushing for him now in the ball game. Options galore here, second and a few inches.
I remember a coaching friend of mine used to tell his running backs before games, make sure you run and jog with your offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking when those big behemoths start to create space for you up front. he did a pretty good job of just following those guys through there for a nice explosive run.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They fake the give. Now Wentz. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
They've given up a few first downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
2nd and 10. They hand this off to Harris. Oh, he bowls over it. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember, the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Working from the gun, Wentz. The Pats are going to get there. Down he goes. Montez Sweat in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
Give him 4 yards there, but still in a big hole, 3rd and long.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Oh, not sure he saw the linebacker there as that's batted down and incomplete.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about. And you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent. And that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
The Steelers send out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. 31 yards on the punt there. And the Pats will be backed up deep to get the drive started as they take over 1st and 10. The Pats at the line, ready to go. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. They run the counter. It's Harris. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. No gain that time, and it leaves him with 3rd and 11 coming up. Looked like he was trying to bounce it outside, but no success.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just figure out where you're going to go, and sometimes you just have to take it to another spot. In trying to get it outside, the defensive pursuit was there and just ran him down.
Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on 3rd down. From deep in their own territory, they look to throw. Trying to fit it into Moore, but it's intercepted. Picked up by Minka Fitzpatrick. And he brings this one back. It's a pick 6 for a Steeler touchdown. Well, dare I say it, it's kind of quid pro quo. Both defenses now with an interception return for a touchdown.
Your vocabulary, sir. Well done.
Extra point put through by Boswell. And the lead now down to 20. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. New England with a first down as they begin the drive. And with a 3-score lead already, this is not time for a momentum change, so I'd imagine they'd be happy to just take this into the locker room. Looking here for Smith downfield. And got his man complete. And all the way down to the 35. Now the Patriots going to use one of their timeouts as it comes with 22 seconds to go here in half number 1. So that changes things a bit. Here's a 1st and 10 all the way down at the 35. Now Jones. He'll go underneath, dropping it off to Edwards. Now the Patriots will use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. From the 30 on second down, Jones. And that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds left.
Good coverage on the outside, and I think that's where he wanted to check that down to. But once he saw the danger over there, he just threw that one over everyone's head. Smart play.
In need of a conversion on third down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Again, he'll drop to throw. And that is incomplete. The secondary has been roasted in this first half, but they get a measure of revenge there. Nice play on the deep ball. Yeah, they're going to need a few more plays like that in order to get their confidence fully back, but that's one step in the proper direction. And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle, and that lead will move from 20 up now to 23. So he missed his first attempt, remember, but this time he gets back on the bike and knocks it home. Yeah, and sometimes that first one can really impact you moving forward. It can just stay with you too long and affect everything else you do during the game. In this case, though, able to shake it off. He's riding high again. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. 1 second, all that remains. A final shot before half for Wentz. He's going to float this over the middle, deep. Looking middle, and it's incomplete. So we've come to halftime after a very one-sided beginning to this one. As we'll send you down the coast now to Orlando, that's where we find Jonathan Coachman, ready with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. All right, Coach, thank you very much as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. The Steelers going to get the football first here, trailing on the scoreboard as we are back underway on EA Sports. And no run back here as the third quarter will commence with a touchback. They turn to Harris to begin the drive. Evades the tackler, and now some space. The 30. 10. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Najee Harris, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Steelers are able to cut into that deficit. That's a score you felt they had to have here in the third quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there's an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
And he is into the end zone again. So get him some oxygen. He scores on the long run and then punches in the 2-point conversion for good measure. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And this will be returned from deep in the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. At their own 16-yard line. The Pats at the line, ready to go. They were terrific in the first half, built up a sizable lead, and it's just been cut into a bit following the opening drive score on the other side. But this is a unit that has to be itching to get the football again.
You can say that again. They've got to be pretty eager because, let's face it, they've had to sit through halftime, then sit on the sidelines and watch that drive. So you can bet that they're saying, let's get on with this. We got to go out there and get some more points.
On second down, this is Harris. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. 62 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football in that situation. That's almost a tendency breaker.
Meanwhile, Jones' throw complete there to Moore. And he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35. His second catch, this one not quite as dynamic as his first, and it's second down.
Second and 6.
On the counter, it's Edwards. Shifts past him at the 45, and he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. They went counter there offensively, and a couple of defenders were on skates for a second.
They certainly were, and you know what offensive linemen love about the counters and the misdirections? Sometimes you don't even have to block the defender. He can run himself out of the play if he doesn't read his keys properly.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off by Landon Collins. And the Steelers are going to take over here up near the 40. Now this offense, yeah, they keep wanting more, but they kind of got to be careful here, CD. I mean, we're still in the third quarter. This game isn't over yet.
I would agree with you there because while they've had all kinds of success and hit on some deep balls like this, the one thing they can't do is start to get loose with the football. A lot of time left, as you mentioned. If they keep turning it over, they'll bring them back into the game.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And coming off a one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense, what's their mentality? How do they rally here and stop this offense? There he goes, left side. He's at the 30, 10, and into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. A big play there. His third touchdown now on the year. And the Steelers are able to close the gap just a bit. Boswell good with the extra point, and this is back to an 8-point game.
Steelers 22.
Now we're going to get a timeout here called by the Patriots. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this third quarter. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. He will return this from deep in the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. New England with a first down as they begin the drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. Of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
Throwing on 2nd and 3. Jones. And the Steeler pressure too much here. He's going down. T.J. Watt able to record his 5th sack of the season. Well, they sent him on the blitz from that linebacker spot, and boy, he got there quickly.
He certainly did, and obviously he could have used a block from his running back, but I think you nailed it right there. The defender got into the backfield so fast, it's hard for anyone to react.
Complete. Hunter Henry with a grab. And he will have a Patriots first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
And that's well executed there on third down, and I love the confidence that they had to let their tight end try and find some space in the middle of the field, right in their quarterback's line of vision. And QBs love to make that easy throw, and they hooked up there for a first down.
And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
I'm getting a sense that the momentum of this game is changing since the break. Nice play there, and this D is fired up.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. And that's caught out wide by Cooks.
Brandon Cooks. That's a gain of 10. Brings up 3rd and 2.
Now Jones, off play action. It's caught on the right side at Smith. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45.
When you get a big tight end like this, sometimes it takes more than one man to bring him down. Oftentimes, your best bet, just jump on and hold on and wait for your teammates to arrive to help get him on the ground.
Jones throwing on first down. To the right side, and he's got more complete. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
And we've seen him have success earlier on with the ball in his hands because he is a get it in space and make a play kind of a receiver. But that time, they closed on him quickly and held him to a short gain.
On 2nd down now, it's Harris. Space to run past the 20. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Patriot touchdown. Damian Harris, his 2nd touchdown of the game, giving him 12 on the season. And the Patriots, they add on to their lead. Circle that drive because that might be one to remember. Well executed to give them a little cushion.
Well, let's take it into the boxing ring. You talk about them commanding it, keeping the fight where they wanted to, whether it was in the center of the ring or putting them on the ropes because it was jab, jab, jab. And finally, the haymaker to put that drive away.
Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. From the 6. And they will be backed up deep. Trouble here as they're going to start this drive at the 6.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And last time the formula was pretty simple. One play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, one play drive is exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was fairly easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
Yeah, we'll see if it's that easy here. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. On play action, Wentz. Escaping the pressure right. He'll find Juju Smith-Schuster. We have played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. And just a yard to go here on 2nd down. On the give, this is Harris. Strong running at the 30. And brought down, but not before they're inside the 25.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
So up through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. 1st down, and they go back to Harris. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Well, that's just a pile of bodies there, and that's when you kind of find out who's a tough guy, right? Who can stand up and make a play. It was only a 3-yard run, but for both sides, they had to walk away from that field like, okay, I can stand up when the going gets tough in here.
And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. It'll be a gain of 5, but still about 3 yards shy of the 1st down marker, and now it's 3rd down. Trying to pick it up on the ground with Harris. A great effort there to shed the contact, and it helps him pick up the 1st. Now, yes, a two-possession game, but a good chunk of time on the clock, so they have the ability still there to run it on second and short, but maybe they need to pick it up a bit.
You're right. They did pick up the first down there, but as you mentioned, they have to pick up the pace now because it's a two-possession game. They've got to get there twice to make sure they have a chance to win.
Throw left side, taken in by Claypool. Down to the 6-yard line on a pickup of 6 as he gets halfway to the goal line. 2nd and 4. They'll run with Harris. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive. So a decent deficit at this stage in the second half. 4-down territory?
No doubt about it. There's not a chance that he hasn't looked ahead and said, okay, if we gain yardage on this play, this is what we'll do going forward. If we lose yardage, this is the play call that I'll have ready.
Shrugs the tackle.
Nice.
He didn't get the touchdown, but he did get the first down as he's tackled at the 1. Now the Patriots will use the second of their timeouts. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this 4th quarter. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Into a mass of bodies, and I think they held him out. They did. Call it no gain, and it's going to be 2nd and goal. Pushing and fighting his way in for a Steeler touchdown. A great play there. With his 2nd touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Steelers go nearly the length of the field and finish it off with 6 points. Extra point put through by Boswell as this gets them back within a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6. You know, I was going to ask you if maybe they should surprise and pass the ball, but where they're at on the field, I think keep it on the ground, right?
I like where you're going with this one because field position is going to determine these play calls. And backed up where they are, I don't even think about putting the ball in the air. I tell my running backs, grasp the football, and I tell my offensive line, don't allow any leaks so they get hit immediately when we hand it off.
4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So the Patriots with a football as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they look to try and finish this one off. On 1st down, Harris. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. It carries like that. That's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Now the Steelers use the first of their 3 timeouts as they'll get it with just under 90 seconds remaining. Here's 2nd and 10. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. The Steelers signal for the 2nd of their timeouts as it comes with 1:25 left to go in the contest. The Steelers now in the nickel here on 3rd down. Back to throw. Jones. And the ball is out. Jones got hit and lost it. When that ball popped free, we could hear it all the way up here. Those guys down on the field alerting everyone of the fumble. He's lucky that his offensive mates picked him up and jumped on it.
Yeah, and you have to think to yourself, and I'm sure they've been echoing it on the sideline and into the huddle. Guys, we have the lead. Just take care of the football. Don't make it easier for them to start to make a comeback.
So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. One possession game. Time very much a factor. How does the offense handle this situation?
Well, in a lot of cases, they should be somewhat relaxed. And I know that's counterintuitive because this is a pressure situation. But this is Friday practice every week of the season. You go over this situation, having to go downfield, limited timeouts, got to get out of bounds and keep the drive going and set yourself up. Defensively, you can't just lay back and let them do whatever they want. So it is a cat and mouse deal here. How much pressure will the defense bring, and how much pressure can the offense handle?
We're going to find out. Back to throw, Wentz. Wentz is intercepted yet again. Picked off at the 35. And the Patriots have just about sewn up this football game. Well, this game has not been short on intrigue, but that's the backbreaker right there, and it's going to put any hope of victory to bed.
Yeah, they knew they needed the touchdown, and when you have that little time remaining, they know they've got no choice except to go for broke, and that they did. But the interception, that means defeat.
A lot of scoring. There's no doubt about that in this one, Charles. Points, they were not in the preview. They were pretty easy to come by.
They were, but it was fun, wasn't it? Because both teams finding ways to click. And you know people who love this game, they also love baseball games that are 14-11 with 3 or 4 home runs mixed in.
So for the Pats, they continue to put themselves in position for a first-round bye as they move to 8-2. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Los Angeles Rams. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, they're going the wrong way as this will drop them to 3-7 now on the year. And they'll try to turn things around next week as they have a matchup in Cincinnati against the Bengals.